Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. And I want to start out the day by saying happy birthday to my son. Today is Dawson's 21st birthday. How about that?
Yeah, happy birthday, Dawson.
Yeah, my
You said
youngest.
21.
Yeah.
Is he going to the bars or anything tonight, or?
No, he's not a drinker. He's just,
Okay.
he's a student. And what he is going to, and my birthday present to him was a Game 4 tickets to the Mavs Suns
Nice.
playoff game.
Very nice.
So he is fired up for that this weekend. But so
Definitely.
hopefully he has a great game. But anyway, I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by Josh Crash Davis. We are here to go over the MLB slate for this day. There are 16 games spread throughout the day, starting at 3:10 or 3:15, something like that. And then the 11-game main slate is the focal point tonight. So we'll be going over pitchers, prize picks, selections, BVP stacks, HR calls, all of our main stuff to help you build out that lineup. And then if you want to follow us through the day, there are a few weather games we have to follow. A couple that look real shaky: Pittsburgh, Detroit, and San Diego, Cleveland. And then a possibility of some rain for that Chicago series, White Sox, Cubs. So we'll follow those throughout the day for you. Make sure you're up to date. And then with all the information we share with you here, we'll be able to start layering that into some lineups. So we are ready to tackle this today. I want to thank our presenting sponsor. That's Prizepicks. If you go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code Coach Talk, all one word, no space. They will match you dollar for dollar on your first deposit, all the way up to $100. Cannot beat free money, and Prizepicks is definitely the way to go. So excited to go over this slate with you. I will say, because we're always full disclosure here, my baseball lineup was absolute dog doo-doo yesterday. So I've erased that from my memory. That's the last time I'll mention it. And I was a little ticked off this morning, so I got up with a bit of an attitude and I dove into this baseball. So you're going to get some gems today, because I generally bounce back when I have one of those Homer Simpson taking the fastball right to the head kind of days.
Yeah, I understand. Totally.
It happens, right? It happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's fly into this and start off with pitching. What do you say? And how is your day so far, Crash?
It's going well. Just woke up to another somewhat rainy morning here in Arkansas, and just made some good breakfast this morning and ready to dive into the baseball. For pitchers, I've got really 5 guys that I like, but I'm going to narrow it down to 4. Carlos Rodon at the Dodgers, 11-1 on Fanduel, 10,000 on Draftkings. He's arguably been the best pitcher in baseball this year. Alec Manoa is 10-4 on Fanduel, 9,700 on DK. He's going up against the Yankees, who he faced earlier this year, and
I have to interrupt because I just want to say I love the courage, and I agree, but I love the first 2 pitchers going against the Dodgers and the Yankees.
I know.
Yeah, really crappy offenses for those 2 teams.
Exactly. Easy matchup.
Yeah.
And then we've got our boy Joe Ryan going up against Baltimore. He's 10-2 on Fanduel, 9,500 on DK. So I like that. Then we've got Brandon Woodruff going up against the Reds. He's 9,700 on Fanduel, 8,900 on DK. So I like that too. And then Michael Kopech is in that same ballpark for me. He's 9,200 on Fanduel, 9,300 on DK. And he's going up against the Cubs, who we saw guys like Adrian Hauser and Eric Lauer rack up strikeouts against. So I think literally 5 guys I could play as a top play on this slate. It's pretty wild. But
let me ask you this, since for the most part here, our advice, we hand build some lineups each day, and certainly you can use this advice if you're 150 max entering, as far as how it affects your percentages, because we do, we do all of the statistical analysis, just to make that clear. We don't just handpick these, put a blindfold on and handpick lineups.
Yeah.
We're using optimizers. We're using player projections. We're using ownership projections. We build throughout the day and fine tune those lineups. So in a situation like this, I was interested, Crash, since you have a multitude of pitchers and 5 pitchers, does it mean that you'll narrow those down as the day goes on, or will you play more different lineups than normal?
I will narrow them down as the day goes on, largely based on ownership for the tournament play. And then on the flip side of that, based on ownership for the hybrid, because I'm going to try and find one of the higher owned pitchers for my hybrid. So I think I'm probably at this point leaning towards either Rodon and Joe Ryan or Brandon Woodruff or Manoa, and one of those guys is where I'm at right now. But like I said, I could literally see all 5 of these guys being a really good option.
Yeah, and it is. There's some exceptional pitching. Some have tougher matchups than others. Some have some good matchups. I just tried to narrow it down to my main guy, and I've been on him every start. Joe Ryan, I call him Joe Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
I just love him, man. He's shown me nothing but being a stud. I think he's got the best matchup of all those good pitchers.
Yeah.
Some of them have some real tough ones. And in 23 innings, he's already got 25 Ks. So, his ERA, his whip, he seems in control. I like the matchup. He's going to be my SP1. And, I know he's a little expensive, but, those other top-notch guys are expensive as well. So for me, my strategy through the day, and that's, if you want to join us, by the way, to see as our strategy rolls out throughout, the day as it the weather shows up and, any changes in lineups, just go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up there for as little as a 3-day pass for $5. We always say it's a great time in the middle of the week here to sign up, because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get all of our baseball, all of our NBA basketball, you get our golf, our PGA this week. So great time to sign up. And I say that because I'm going to make a decision today is, who am I going to use as my SP2? Am I going to buy down so I can get the hitters that I want? That's my plan right now. So I'm probably going to go jumping Joe Nolan Ryan here and try to find a cheaper SP2, because I have a stack strategy that I want to utilize for my hitters. So I don't know who that second guy is, because as Crash said, I like a bunch of those expensive pitchers but if you go real high on those two, it does really handcuff you. Now, I don't have to do that where there's only one pitcher on Fanduel, so it's a little bit easier. But on Draftkings and Yahoo, it's tougher. And, we supply here at Coach Talk for all 3. So anyway, for me, I've narrowed it down to Mr. Joe Ryan, and then I got to figure out the rest.
Okay.
Oh, your screen froze and your eyeballs were like you had just smoked about 5 joints.
Am I back now?
You're back. So, Mr. High, you have the munchies yet or what?
No. So where are we? I guess we're on the
value pitcher.
Play. Okay. So I'm going to be going with Dakota Hudson. He's 8,900 on FanDuel, 8,100 on DK. He did get off to a little bit of a slow start in his first couple starts, but in his last 2, he pitched 6.5 shutout innings at Cincinnati and 6 shutout innings versus Arizona, with 4 strikeouts in each game, scoring 42 and 40 fantasy points. So, he's not lighting the world on fire, but those are solid numbers for his price, especially at 8,100 on DK.
All right, I need you to clarify, what is 6.5 innings?
Or 6 2/3 is actually.
I was gonna say, did he get an out and a half?
Yeah, 6 2/3 is what I meant. Yeah,
I was gonna say that's a new stat. I want to know how you get a half and out. That's all.
Right,
I'm saying.
Right.
I don't have a value pitcher yet, and so I'm not just gonna throw one against the wall. I cannot find one that I'm comfortable with, but I need to. So I'll be asking and talking in chat, in our Discord chat all afternoon.
Well, it's not like it's some super value either. I mean, 8,900 on FanDuel, 8,100 on DK. You know, that's not that cheap for a pitcher. So.
No, at least it's not in that 10K range, but still, it's not an easy one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shock you with my fade pitcher today. He's been my other than Joe Ryan, this is the guy that I've ridden to the baseball success I've had. I'm fading Kyle Wright today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know it. There are several reasons why. I mean, I've noticed a bit of a trend here too. He's walking a few too many people. When you walk too many people, you're eventually going to get stung in the you know what, because you cannot put free passes on base. Also, left-handers have been sizing them up pretty good.
Yeah.
And Nimmo, McNeil, and Don Smith are a combined 10 for 23 with 3 homers against him. And Francisco Lindor's only faced him once, and he's homered off him. So it's not a perfect matchup for him. Those lefties from the Mets can cause some trouble. And I feel like, this is the regression game for Kyle Wright. He's going to get decent ownership, and, he's pretty expensive. But between the lefty hitters for the Mets and his propensity to walk, regression, it looks like it could be, I'm not saying he's going to get blown up, but it just could be a game where I don't think he's going to really get to his value.
Right. And he's on the earlier, I think that game's at like 3:10 Eastern.
He is the earlier slate. So for anybody playing all day or playing that earlier, I mean, I didn't want to just switch off him to a main slate guy, because I think this is a sharp play. And I'll tell you what, on that early slate, he's going to be chalk city.
Yeah, definitely will be. For me, it's all based on the site. On FanDuel, Bruce Zimmerman is $9,500. On DraftKings, he's $6,100.
That's nuts.
$3,400 price difference. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So on DraftKings, still a really good play at 6,100. But he's facing the Twins, so it's a little bit of a tough matchup. But like I say, 6,100 on DraftKings, definitely a good value play. But on FanDuel at 95, I would rather pay 9,700 for Woodruff or even 10-2 for Joe Ryan in better matchups than Zimmerman against the Twins. So
yeah, that's just a bizarre mispricing shift there.
Yeah, it's really weird. Really weird.
No question about it. All right, let's dive into prize picks. Let's go right at it. I'll give you my pitcher, and I just said it. Whoops. It's Kyle Wright, under 34.5 projected fantasy score. Again, I know it's actually a 640 game, Crash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's listed
as
as
the
pitcher
double
for
header,
game
right?
2.
Yeah, it's a double header. Yeah.
Double header. So if it's true that he pitches game 2, and sometimes they screw that up when they post him, so we have to check that, and just check us out in Discord. We'll follow that for you to make sure he's not pitching game 1. But 34.5 is a pretty aggressive number, and he's deserved it. He's pitched well. But again, I just think some regression here. Maybe he gets 25, 26 fantasy points, which is a good outing, but not even close to his 34.5 number on Prize Picks.
I like that. My Prize Picks play is going to be Jose Abreu over 5.5 fantasy score, and that is actually going to tie right in with my BDP play of the day. He's 3,100 on FanDuel, 4,000 on DraftKings. He's hit 546 with 6 hits and 11 at bats against Drew Smyly.
Nice.
So I do like the numbers. He got pretty, 5.5 is a pretty low fantasy score for him to hit for the matchup, especially. So I do like the over at 5.5 there for Jose Abreu.
I like it. My hitter is going to be Charlie Blackmon, and that will hint some of my future plays here. It's the Colorado. It's the Rockies game. I'm taking over projected hitter fantasy score 8.5. He's 5 for 8 against them with a home run, and just love where, he's batting at the top of that order, second, I think, or right in that top couple. And he's I think he's due. And as you'll see, that Washington, Colorado game is going to be a theme for me today.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. They're one of my top stacks as well. CJ Crone, Ryan McMahon, Connor Gill, all those guys, they have good numbers up against Eric Fetty, who kind of surprised us in his last start and had a better start than we thought. I think he's going to get hit like we thought he would this game.
I hope so. Fetty Spaghetti killed us last time. So
he really did.
Yeah, we're going to get him this time.
My other stack, not a homer pick, but Tyler Mahle has really struggled this year, and I think that continues tonight, especially because the Brewers were shut out on Sunday after scoring 20 runs in 2 games. So Willy Adames, Rowdy Tellez, Hunter Renfroe, and then Luis Urias is supposed to be back in the lineup for them. So I do like him as well tonight.
For me, it's going to be like a throwback to, 3-4 years ago when there was a stretch of games in Colorado where it'd be 20-16 or 23-8. I'm not saying we're going to have scores like that, but it was just impossible to not stack the Rockies. Now it's leveled out a little bit through the years, but I just think this is a throwback. Blast the ball all over the stadium. It's warmed up there, 64 degrees. It's supposed to be at game time.
Yeah.
So I'm stacking this game. I'm gonna just do the old fashioned take cores. I'm taking Joe Ryan, finding a cheap pitcher, and getting as many guys from the Washington, Colorado game as I can. I love Charlie Blackmon, as I said. You have Juan Soto in there. He's 3 for 8 with a homer, 3 RBIs, and 2 walks against Marquez. So there's just a plethora of guys, 1 through 8, really for me on both sides. And I'll have a ton of exposure to this game. Old school core stack for me today, Crash.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I guess you could probably use Zimmerman on DK because he's one of the lower priced pitchers on the whole slate on that site. And he hasn't been bad. It's just that he's overpriced on Fanduel at 6,100 on DraftKings. That stack that you're talking about, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's a very strong possibility because, again, you're going to have to pay a few extra bucks for some of these cores guys, but to me, it's worth it.
Yeah, and for me, my GPP stack is going to be the White Sox, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, Lewis Robert, and Andrew Vaughn. I like all those guys against Drew Smyly. And then that leads us to the home run call. So go ahead with your home run call.
Well, before I do that, I do want to say one thing. In that Giant stack, the one guy to leave out is Josh Bell. He's 1 for 18 against Marquez.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to stack up all around him. Even though, if he still bats in the middle of that order, I am not going to stack a 1 for 18 dude.
That's crazy. That's really low.
Other than this Colorado game for the stack, I like the Astros today. They generally smash flexing up and down the lineup, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits all over the place. So I have an Astros stack, and you can play anybody in that lineup if you're going to go that route.
Okay, I like that. And then how's Altuve's numbers? Because I know he's back now for them.
I will look real quickly. As you want to share yours.
My GPP stack was going to be the White Sox.
White Sox?
Yeah. So the Rockies and the Brewers are going to be more of my cash play, and then the White Sox and the GPPs.
Excellent. All right, let me just give you some idea of. I won't go through the at bats because they're 10, 11, 12 bats for everybody, but the consistency of how they hit against him. Altuve's batting 273, Brantley 250, 400 Bregman, 400 Alvarez, 400 Tucker, 1,000 for Jeremy Pena. 429 for Martin Maldonado. So they all hit him 3, 4, 5 hits. Not a ton of homers. Jordan Alvarez has a grand slam against him, and Maldonado has a 3-run shot. but Altuve does have a walk and a steal. So it's like there's no holes in that lineup against
Right.
Flexen. So I think, it really is a good spot for them. And obviously the fade on Flexen is a big one for me as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might have to look at them too. That sounds like a pretty good stack. I've
Yep.
used them quite a bit lately. My home run call is going to be Bryce Harper. He has 5 hits and 15 at bats against John Gray with 2 home runs. That is one of the earlier games. I think it starts at like 6:40 or something like that.
Right.
And, Bryce Harper is going to be my home run call today.
I like it. Real going out on a limb there for no pop for that guy.
Yeah.
My BVP play today is Joey Votto, 7 hits, 2 home runs against Woodruff. So you can swear at me, you can throw whatever you want, but you can't deny Joey Votto can hit Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah. No, it's probably not a bad play. He has definitely done some damage against the Brewers. So
I know it's a risk, but as a one-off, why not? If you're playing Woodruff, no, but I'm probably not going to be able to play Woodruff today. And not that I don't like him, but it's just not going to fit for me. And so, why not Joey V pop one for us? That would be awesome. My HR call is Ryan McMahon against Fetty. He's popped him before. That's my favorite stack game, and everything else. I think Ryan McMahon, fairly, not low owned, as low owned as a Rocky's going to be, but he bats like 6th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. So I think he can be sort of a, he's no bomb hitter, but I think in this case, I think he can take him deep.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he'll be lower owned than CJ Crone and Connor Joe. Those guys usually get, and Blackman, those guys usually get the majority of the ownership for the Rockies. So
exactly. So, in the main thing here as we wrap it up then is just, a lot of good games today with 16 games on the slate, a doubleheader in there, 11 on that main slate if you're only going to play that one. Follow some of the weather because it can affect some things. Now, we didn't jump on Pittsburgh, Detroit, San Diego, Cleveland, and that's good because good chance those are either rained out or delayed.
yeah.
And then the one we do need to keep an eye on too is that White Sox Cubs games because I think it's going to be intermittent there. So other than that, though, we've got some great weather. The temperatures are heating up in some areas, and I think hopefully the ball starts flying a little bit better. And a bunch of good pitching, I guess, is the theme today. Is you're going to have some big scores. You can't miss with your pitcher today because you're going to need those 35 or whatever fantasy points for those top pitchers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you mentioned the San Diego Cleveland game. I think that's going to be a homecoming game for what's his face, Clevenger.
Yeah. If they play it, we'll see.
They play, yeah.
It'll be an interesting one. All right, fantastic. Anything else from your end of the baseball world?
No, I think that's about it. We've got a nice 11-game slate, so ownership won't be too, crowded like it was a little bit last night on a smaller slate. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, should be a fun one. And again, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Prizepicks. Go to prizepicks.com. If you're making your first deposit, sign up with the promo code CoachTalk, and they'll match $1 for $100. If you're watching on YouTube, big ask here, the only one we have, thumbs up on your way out here. Hit that subscribe button. That means a ton to us. While you're at it, hit that little button in the corner there, the little alarm. It lets you know when any of our podcasts post. We're bringing these NBA and MLB podcasts to you in front of the paywall 7 days a week. And then later this afternoon, we're going to put our PGA pod up a day early. Get ready for that tournament this week, so you can check that out as well. If you're listening to us on any of our audio podcast landing spots, whether it be Apple Podcast, Spotify, all of the spots, take a second if you can, give us a 5-star rating and a quick comment. That will get you into a drawing at the end of the month for a free 1-week membership to Coach Talk. So we would really appreciate that. And we appreciate you spending some time with us each day. And then we'll close with the fact that we would love to have you join us. Go to dfscoachtalk.com to jump in. If you want to catch us information-wise and you're not in our Discord, throughout the day, you can catch us on Twitter. We're all at DFS Coach Talk. I am at Joe Sarvati, and the man in the red shirt with the beard trying to look like Brandon Woodruff, his Twitter is at JP Davis 1982. So that is it, my friend. I'll be Joey Votto, and you're Brandon Woodruff today.
We'll see who wins.
We'll see who wins out. Shout out to Deb, too, and her pick on stinking Ayton, getting it done in its center yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun game. Luka's a stud, though. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Hopefully they can pull it out, and we'll have our basketball pod up here in just a little bit. I have a feeling Crash is going to want to go over some Milwaukee Bucks information. So
one or two.
Yeah. Enjoy the baseball day. Crush it. Catch our other pods as they drop here later this morning. And we really appreciate you spending this time with us. So have a fantastic Taco Tuesday. There'll be some Prize Pick special tacos up there. So we'll be posting that in Twitter and in our Discord when those show up. So thanks again. Have a great one. We'll catch you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and Prize Picks.